would like to invite on stage someone who's made international headlines in the last few months. Bombay Jayashri, music composer and singer, nominated for the Academy Award for her composition, Pi's Lullaby. She will try and answer the question whether fusion is the only way to make Indian music go global. Can you please welcome her with a round of applause? But ma'am, I have to take the liberty to request you to start with the one song that the whole world identifies you with, Pi's Lullaby.
கண்ணே கண்மணியே கண்ணுறங்காயோ பூவே மயிலோ தோகை மயிலோ குயிலோ கூவும் குயிலோ மயிலோ தோகை மயிலோ குயிலோ கூவும் குயிலோ ராரோ 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 நிலவோ நிலவின் ஒளியோ நிலவோ நிலவின் ஒளியோ கனியோ செங்கனியின் சுவையோ ராரோ 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 Is fusion the only road to globalization of Indian music? This is a topic we have here. Namaskar and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really honored to be here. Fusion, as we know, is an exchange between two or more cultures, a collaboration, a dialogue between two artists or more. The more appropriate word for musical exchange would be confluence. Like the meeting of two rivers, the meeting of diverse musical traditions. The concept of fusion music was introduced to the world by George Harrison of the Beatles, who also played the sitar. Pandit Ravi Shankar collaborated with Yehudi Menuhin. Shakti had John McLaughlin play with so many Indian artists. We see shades of this confluence in Indian cinema music, in the works of C. Ramachandra, Salil Chowdhury, R.G. Burman, Ilayaraja. So the concept began decades ago. The concept has stayed and will continue to. National boundaries or musical cultures no longer prevent musicians who are keen to experiment or explore new horizons. As a keen student growing up in Bombay, I was blessed to be part of a family that encouraged me to listen to experiment with, and learn a variety of styles. That has only been an enriching experience and invaluable learning for me. Confluences, exchanges, fusion music have always been popular. They remain popular even today. But Indian music will continue to retain its originality and tradition, and at the same time adapt itself continuously in the new avenues. There is a lot to search for and create afresh within one's own idiom and tradition. One doesn't need to experiment for the sake of experimenting. Having said that, I believe that as artists, one is constantly searching for that excitement of doing something new, for treading a path less known, for the euphoria or magic of creating something jointly with another culture, another style, another artist. Just to celebrate the difference or to appreciate the similarity with another culture, or just enjoying the texture of melody and rhythm that emanates from these exchanges. And this is the enjoyment that spreads to the audiences. I had the opportunity first to sing with the Finnish Chamber Orchestra in Lapland, next to the North Pole, in 2008. As the concert progressed, I realized that the residents from Lapland came to the concert to listen to Carnatic music performed as part of an ensemble that they related to. But in this way, they became aware of classical music, interested, and perhaps wanted to even learn Indian classical music. So when cultures meet and merge, and yet retain their individuality, the outcome is beautiful, isn't it? We are in a modern era, very much influenced by the changes and rifts that affect us, our art. The changes in technology, the access to music at the click of the mouse or the touch of the screen, all these facts impact the art and the artist. As a teacher, I find myself hugely drawing from these cross-cultural inspirations and exchanges to create both a pedagogy and a keen interest in the students. Notions like folk music only for villages, Sufi music only for a religious sect, or classical only for the knowledgeable, all these seem like myths. So, to come to the topic of the day, is fusion music the only way to globalization? It's not. It is one of the ways in which music can be made beautiful with insight and passion. These exchanges create that opportunity, that avenue, and as a result may bring in newer audiences. Having said that, I also believe that even in order to create or enjoy good fusion music, we need to be grounded in our own original tradition. It is only when we understand and appreciate the nuances of our own music that we can really create or enjoy a meaningful dialogue or confluence with another kind of music. So I'd say that there is no substitute to knowing our own music first. But we need not be limited or bound by that knowledge of what is ours. To be grounded, respectful of our original tradition, and yet be free to experiment and soar with that melodic notes of another culture, that is the ideal musical challenge for all of us. It is not either or, but really a case of both enriching each other. After all, music is a God-given gift for all of us to reach out, to communicate, to enjoy, to seek joy and peace. Thank you.
Questions? Questions, anyone? Okay, so I'll start with the first question. Do you think, in your experience, do you think that in India, to appreciate an artist, and that's also a theme that we'll be discussing in detail later on in the conclave, that first international recognition is a prerequisite for people to recognize talent from within our country?
I don't think, because as Indians we have a very healthy, a very large audience that appreciate aesthetics. Yes, but if the torchlight is in Hollywood, it makes us a little more alert, that's all.
What about classical music, Carnatic music, or classical music from across the country? Has it suffered because of the advent of popular music, the popular culture, the Hindi film industry? You in some way have to get noticed in popular culture before, then you bring out your real traditional music and people listen to you?
I heard my mother lament when I was a child, saying that gone are those days, classical music, no more. I remember my grandfather saying the same thing, gone are the days. But if you see me, I sing classical music not only in India, and not only me, all my peers enjoy singing and traveling around the world. So today is a golden period for classical music. And if we stepped into other forays of music, perhaps film or pop, as in the case of some classical musician, it's only because of the urge, our search to do something new and experiment.
Are there any other Hollywood projects in India that you're looking at right now?
Not right now. Nothing right now.
I've hogged a lot of time. Anyone else? A question for Bombay Jayashri? I'll take just one question. All right, so right now we're winding up this session, but can I please request Mrs. Rekha Puri to come on stage and give a token of our appreciation? I think you could be louder with the applause.